go. Crisp, where are you? All right, I'm gonna have to use this call signal. Caw-caw! All right. I gotta do what I gotta do. Bring in the backup. Get in here. Welcome, Colton Merchant. Seaman 66.
Seaman 66. Thank y'all. This chair feels so much better in person.
When you were on Caleb AM, you didn't get a special chair. Now's your time to shine.
So excited to be here. So excited to be Chris' replacement.
Yeah, this is Chris for the day. He's been on Caleb AM. Go watch those if you haven't. But first time on Peach Crisp, we're going to be reviewing
Bullet Train.
Have you watched it before?
It's a classic.
It's my favorite movie from when I was a kid.
Oh yeah.
All right, so we got our scores, our criteria. We're just going to run through it real quick. Give our thoughts, our opinions, what we liked, what we didn't like.
Very simple concept.
Pretty easy. It would take an idiot to not understand it and have trouble.
Especially if you look at this right here.
Oh, you got us good.
Uh,
All right. So first is the plot. I'll go first. I liked the plot. It was fun. The movie wasn't taking itself too seriously, but it did have some like good serious moments. The plot itself was like kind of basic. It was just at first it was basic. By the end of the
very
movie,
basic comedy action movie.
Also, we're gonna try to keep spoilers light, but if you go watch the movie first before you watch this.
It is a good movie. Good watch. A little long watch, so you might need to sit down, grab someone you like,
Grab some popcorn.
grab some popcorn, a little beverage.
But so, anyways, the movie's a bit too long. The plot starts fast. Like pretty much as soon as the movie starts,
Like you take off instantly.
the bullet train starts.
It's
You know?
Bullet Train from the start.
You get like an opening scene with like a dad and his kid, and then it's off to Brad Pitt's character Ladybug, and after like 2 minutes of walking, he gets on the train, and then the plot starts. But the plot it got a little slow at times, but at the same time it felt fairly well paced the whole time, and it was a cool plot, really good twist. There were some mystery elements. I won't spoil.
Very
A lot of good stuff.
And interesting.
So I gave the plot a 19 out of 25. What did you give the plot?
Now, I agree with all your points. There were times where I felt like it kind of diverged from the plot, like towards the middle. It starts off strong in the beginning, and it picks back up in the end, but there are parts in the middle where it kind of just separates you from the whole point, and you kind of forget. But it's not a bad thing. You're enjoying the movie the whole time, so it's not a bad thing. But at the same time, you just get lost in the madness.
Yeah.
But
What'd you give it?
I give it an 18.
Nice. All right. You can go first on characters.
Thank you.
Out of 15.
Out of 15 characters, were pretty good. I liked all the characters. All the main characters, I say main characters, pretty much everyone was like a main character. There were a few characters that didn't get their time to shine.
There was 2 characters I can think of that just didn't have enough time for me to like them.
Oh no. Wolf and
oh gosh,
Hornet. There you go.
They were
Wolf and
on
Hornet,
screen for like 2 minutes.
Five max. Two men, 5 max. And they're there. Like they have plot that they have their own write-in, but it's just not good. It's not good how quick they die. So
Spoiler alert. Not much of a spoiler, they're there to die,
but all the characters, they were very lovable, and except for one, we'll get to them. All right, do we get to them now? I guess
if
characters.
you want to talk about it.
Yeah,
Just don't spoil the movie.
We hate Prince.
Prince, awful.
Awful character.
I'm not gonna say who that is, but
just know that.
just know a
They
hint
were
of who it
awful.
is. The actor that plays this character was in 3 awful Netflix original rom-com movies that are all in the same. They're a trilogy, and they're all terrible. And I'll get to the acting when I get to the acting, but I hated the characters. So
That's fair. Overall, I gave characters a 12. That's very positive. It only went down significantly. I'd say significantly, like 2 points at the most from that one character, because all the other characters made up for just one very awful character.
yeah, let me see this. I need to look up something real quick. So you gave it a 12?
Yeah.
I think I was kind of similar with you. I liked Hornet and
Wolf.
They were like, Wolf was a little cringy, but it was funny.
Wolf
And
was cringe just the way he walked around. Like in
It
the
made-
5
it made
minutes
me
of
laugh.
screen time he had, he walked around with such swagger and like he was the big bad. Just for him to get humiliated in the 2 minutes of the fight scene.
Yeah.
And then Hornet, she gets humiliated as well. But in every line, she just screams the B word.
Yeah, it was
It
it was unnecessary.
Our
Oh,
main
little
character.
remark: I do not recommend you watch this movie. This does not have the Caleb stamp of approval for young audiences. It was very mature.
If
I
his
do not
suburban
recommend
doesn't, if his suburban doesn't mean anything, there's an R on the very top.
There's a big R.
So you know.
Yeah, no, it was good. I can't recommend you watch it in good faith. But anyways, when it comes to the characters for me, standout was Brian Tyree Henry and Aaron Taylor Johnson's characters, which were Tangerine
And
or
Lemon.
Lemon and Tangerine, in that order, respectively. They were amazing. Also,
Favorites.
Brad Pitt is Ladybug. That's also a great character. Overall, the characters were just like spectacular characters. I love them. Besides Prince, possibly my least favorite character in cinematic
Prince,
history.
like their character is, you're meant to hate them. Like that's kind of like the whole point. But like
it's not fun to hate.
it
them.
wasn't fun.
They just made me so mad. And I sat there on that couch right there, and I kept screaming, "I hate this movie! I hate this movie! I hate this movie!" Which isn't true.
And then when the good characters came back on, you kind of
calmed down.
Took
Just
a
for
deep breath
stuff
of
to
Brad
happen
Pitt.
that I won't pull out because of spoilers, but anyways, but yeah, no, with Wolf and Hornet, it wasn't like I didn't like them. Like they were good characters, they were funny, they had good comic relief. Although Hornet's death it's horrifying, honestly. Like I did not like watching that. But yeah, no, they were good. I gave characters a 13 out of 15. If I thought about it, the more and more I thought about it, think about it, Prince's thing would just like slowly deteriorate the character score because of how awful the character is. But hey, that's just me.
There was one character we forgot to mention that got 2 seconds of screen time.
Oh my goodness!
Ryan Reynolds.
Oh, I thought you were talking about Karen Fukuhara.
Oh yeah, and her too. Karen Fukuhara
From
The
The
Boys.
Boys fame. I can't remember who she plays in the. I know who she plays. I just don't know.
It's the girl that can't talk.
Yeah, no. The girl
And
that
then
can't talk. I can find out.
Ryan Reynolds, the man that should have been. And Ryan Reynolds'
Oh, also,
character.
if you're gonna watch the movie, don't watch the trailer before the movie. Thankfully, I didn't. I had seen the trailer, but like 6 months ago. It
So there wasn't-
spoils so much.
It does.
Like
But there's
unnecessary.
a lot
no.
there that you don't need to.
Yeah, I don't
I
recommend
feel like a
watching
lot
the
of
trailer.
trailers are starting to do that though.
Yeah, and I don't like it. But yeah, so characters were really good. Off to the originality station. Get it by train.
Originality. Caleb, why don't you start?
I don't mind if I do. Originality. It was an action comedy where people beat each other up and a lot of people died. But there was also some murder mystery, some really good twists, pretty decent action for the most part.
Well, we say murder mystery, like
It wasn't a murder. It wasn't Knives Out.
Yeah, it's not a Knives Out murder mystery, but the way that some of these characters do die, there's a lot of elements everywhere that keep you guessing on what actually is going to be their final moment.
Yeah.
So that's the mystery part of their murder.
And there's like a big twist at the end that like reveals a lot of stuff, which is a part of the mystery. And like there is a couple murder mysteries. Like a character dies and you don't know how they die, and then you find out later. It wasn't very satisfying.
But it's not
There
like the
was a
whole
mystery.
point of like.
Yeah, it wasn't a murder mystery movie.
There you
But
go.
Is that your stomach?
No,
That was the couch.
But for the most part, it was pretty original. Not like the most original thing ever, so I can't give it a 5. Gave it a 4.
That's fair.
Your turn.
Yeah, same. I gave it a 4.
Nothing much needs to be said.
Nothing much.
What is
other
next
than-
on our list?
there. That's better.
All right, just leave it there. And we're back. We fixed the camera.
I need your face.
You can have it.
And we're back.
And we're back.
Well, let's jump to enjoyment. Very enjoyable movie. Top tier, honestly. I went into it knowing that it'd be a comedy, which is my favorite genre of movies. So I was going in like ready to give it like a very positive score. Usually positive scores range around 18 to 20, maybe 17, 20. But this movie went past my expectations on how much I enjoyed it. And it's just, mainly it comes from the characters. It comes from me just sitting in my chair waiting to find out what happens next. It grabs my attention well, and I really appreciate it because sometimes you just sit there and you're like, well, I can't wait for X.
Me with Black Panther.
Oh my goodness, don't even get me started, Peach. Gosh dang.
Sorry. I can't dog on that movie when Crisp is around because he likes it. I like that movie too.
Good thing
It was
Chris
really,
isn't here.
really slow. But we're not talking about that movie.
But
You let my phone turn off. Do you remember what you gave it?
I did give it a 23. Almost near perfect because it was just almost a near perfect enjoying movie to watch.
That's fair. I don't fully agree, but like it was very enjoyable. My thing is, I was sitting around that 23, 24 because, like, as I said, it got a little slow, but when it was slower, it wasn't a bad type of
I would have
slow.
thought that's what brought it down.
It was like
Significantly.
it was super fun the whole movie, but Prince, as I've mentioned, one of the worst characters in cinematic history to me. It just
Sucks away the life. That
and like the characters' earlier scenes weren't like they were good. Like I was like, ooh, this is a cool character. But then it got to like I think what was the turning point of the movie, honestly, and I don't want to spoil what happens, but it's one of my least favorite scenes, and it has one of my least favorite deaths ever.
No, that's fair. It's a very
And it hurt so many things in this movie, or in my review. Like it dropped points. This like one scene dropped points in enjoyment, in characters, and in one other category. So like it made me so mad, and I don't want to spoil what happens, but my issue with the scene is something I hate in a lot of movies. A character
avoidable deaths.
avoidable deaths. Character A has character B. You can
Pinned.
probably guess who character B is. Pinned. Character A has good motivation to kill character B. He has the character in a easy position in what would be an insanely satisfying death, considering what just happened. And instead of killing character B, character A waits
Runs
and
their
waits
mouth.
and waits and waits and waits even longer, and then even longer past that for character C to come behind and stop them, and then character A ends up dying in the process. One of my least favorite deaths of all.
I was like
time.
a play-by-play. I ran
Yeah.
it through my mind.
It made me so mad because the whole time I'm watching, I was like, this is so sick. Like, if that scene had gone differently, it would have elevated this movie by 10 points because of how satisfying that death would have been.
I know. Like as soon as character A turns around and they realize, it should have been over from there. Like he could have gotten off like a few words. It's like, I know who you are.
He should
Bow,
have.
bow, bow.
He should have said, "You're the Diesel." You don't understand if you watch the movie and
The
shot
Diesel.
him. But like, whatever. Tired of talking about it. Besides that, it was an insanely enjoyable movie. Super fun all the way through. I gave enjoyment a 20 out of 20.
20. You mean 20 out of
20 out of
25?
25, sorry.
There you go.
Oh, also an enjoyment. They had a Japanese version of Staying Alive and of Holding Out for a Hero, and they were fire.
Fire songs.
I like Japanese music, so it was sick.
It was sick to hear classics replayed in Japanese, especially for, a movie set in Japan.
Yeah. So that's it for enjoyment. Off to the effects. This is out of 5. It was good. It was good.
Good effects.
There was a lot of blood, and all of the blood splatters was like
CGI.
it was CGI.
Very
Like, it was
CGI.
very obviously CGI,
Now,
but it wasn't like that bad. It was just there was also some like iffy fight scenes choreography wise, so that kind of hurt it a little bit too. But for the most part, like it wasn't bad, so I couldn't give it a negative score. So I gave it a 3 out of 5.
in my opinion, it was a comedy. So you're gonna see some cheesy deaths. Like there was one death that doesn't spoil too much, where one of the bad guys, one of the henchmen, gets lifted up through a window of the ceiling,
And then a
and
sign.
and a sign just takes his body one way, and the other half just drops
Back down.
back down. And that was fun to watch because it's supposed to be funny, cheesy. And as his body flies through the train,
It
he's yelling,
rolls
"Ah!" You're in, "Ah!" But it's very CGI, a lot of blood, a lot of fake body flying and screaming. But that's fun. For me, that's fun. And that doesn't really hurt to see CGI blood splatter everywhere when it's kind of meant to make fun of the serious moments that it has. It does have serious moments. But there are some serious moments that get overtaken by the silliness, which is good for a comedy. So I gave Effects 4 out of 5. Because it really just didn't bother me that much.
I think we're gonna agree on this one. Acting.
Shall we say it together? 3.
I-O. Say what you thought about it. I'll say what I thought about it, and then we'll say our scores.
Okay. Well, I think y'all know where this is going. We have
0.
Same score, but let us kind of run through it. The acting was pretty phenomenal. I mean, every character played their role to a T. Even the characters we don't like played their character to a T, which is surprising because, you know,
That character was in 3 awful Netflix original garbage romance movies that are very
and it's hard to see returning bad actors come and actually nail a role. And so it's nice to see that everyone played their role perfectly. Well, of course, there's like, I wouldn't say perfectly, like, you know,
I mean, there were a couple like
there are hiccups, but there's like, it's not like, oh my gosh, bad hiccups. It's enjoyable, and their acting kept it enjoyable the whole way through. What are your thoughts on it?
I fully agree. This is not one of the best acted movies of all time, but like everybody.
But
did
for its
a
genre?
great job. It's one of the better acted like action comedies because those are
Oh,
really
yeah.
just spoofs of a movie. But like especially Brad Pitt, Aaron Taylor Johnson, and Brian. I looked him up. I can't remember now. But especially Ladybug, Tangerine, and Lemon. Like some of the incredible acting.
That's core 3.
Also, The Elder was really good. The White Death was really good. And even The Prince, like, I think it was one of the worser, less good performances.
For sure.
But, like, it wasn't bad. It was just not as good. But that probably comes from me hating
them so much.
the scenes with them. But, so yeah. 3, 2, 1.
5.
Out of
Acting,
5.
5
Woo,
out of
go
5.
acting.
Yes!
So, next up on the chopping block is attachment. I was attached to the characters.
Same.
There was one scene that if I wasn't so mad about that scene prior happening, or not just prior, like 2 scenes earlier happening, I could have seen myself crying. If I was like, you know, not as mad as I was, I could have cried. Like it was.
I was too much in a good mood watching this movie where I don't think I could have seen myself crying. Like even if like a really like emotional tear-jerking part, I just don't see myself crying in this particular. Maybe just it's not a bad thing, but it's not definitely something I just didn't see myself doing.
I felt a little something. I was like, ooh, that's sad. But I definitely wouldn't have cried. I don't think. Like if I was, I don't know, in a certain mood, I could see myself crying. goodness, to that scene. Like it was probably, even though I hated how it happened, it was one of the best scenes in the movie. Just from like a emotional stance, it was really good. But yeah, I liked all the characters, and I think this is a good example of attachment, but in the opposite way, because there was one character I've mentioned them several times. I've never wanted a fictional character
To die.
to die more. Every scene they were in, I was like, this better be their last scene.
Yeah.
I'm tired of watching them. And then that scene came, and for whatever reason, that wasn't the scene they died in. Why did they not die in that scene? I just don't get it.
Exactly.
It was so obvious to kill them there. They don't even do anything else in the rest of the movie. But then
We touched on it.
the scene when they finally, spoiler alert, the scene when they finally do die, it's like the most unsatisfying death. But we'll get to that. I gave it an 8.
What's that? Hang on. Okay, just remember. So my attachment for these characters, very, very lovable characters. Even when you knew their point of views, it's like why they're doing what they're doing on the bullet train. You can't help but love these characters because they're all fighting for one goal. They're all together, and then once they finally realize who the real big bad is, because they all like trying to kill each other and just bang, 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 bang.
Boom, boom, boom.
You just hate to see your favorite character go out from another character you like when they actually come together and make a better team. And my attachment to all the characters, except for
Yeah.
the obvious, was just respected.
Honestly, that's something I forgot to mention in enjoyment and characters earlier. One good thing is sometimes I don't like tense movies or shows where anybody can die, but I thought this one was doing a good job because like
it was keeping like the mandatory deaths to a minimum.
yeah. I mean, I think this movie could have gotten away
Like there were definitely
less deaths, and I would have been happier.
Yeah.
Because there was one character who just shouldn't have died, and I'm sorry, I'm very mad about it.
The one who got away.
It set up one joke, or two jokes, I guess, but that one of the jokes wasn't a joke, it was more symbolism. It set up one joke, and now I'm thinking of the characters after the movie. One character's life is just ruined now. Like, they have nothing to live for now.
No.
So,
His half is gone, so...
spoiler alert.
That's tough.
But, yeah, no. What'd you give attachment?
8 as well.
Nice. Alright, let's move on to the finale.
I had to tear off my tag because it was itchy bad. Finale was pretty good. Right up, me and Peach had a conversation on where we cut finale off, and we
So, without getting into spoilers, there's a big fight on the train, and then the main fight ends, and that's where we're starting the thing.
yes,
Don't want to say what all happens.
you don't want to start. So right when the big fight ends is when we consider the finale, and up to the point, all the loose ends are kind of coming together, sat in a very, very nice way. I tried to say satisfactory way, but that didn't sound right. So, in a nice way, they all kind of came together, and of course, we did mention the unsatisfactory death of hated
X-character.
X-character.
I think it was character B in the illustration I used earlier.
Character B.
We hated character B.
Can't get enough of this. Just hate him. But outside of the unsatisfactory death, everything kind of came together. It was good, and in my opinion, it was just good. I can't say it was like the best finale because that's not true, but it still was really good outside of the unsatisfactory death.
Yeah. What'd you give it?
What was the score out again?
It was out of 10.
It was out of 10. Yeah, it was 8.
Yeah, that's fair. I'm essentially exactly what you said, but like I had to just take 2 points off for the very unsatisfying death of one of my least favorite characters in cinematic history, character B. I didn't like them. I don't know if I mentioned that yet, but I really did not like that character at all.
That's news to me.
I'm telling this guy for the first time.
This
But
guy.
I did not like
Can't
that
catch up.
character. But like, considering I took off like 2 points for that, giving it an 8 would assume that it was a perfect finale otherwise, and it wasn't. It was a little abrupt, but like it was still a good finale. Like, you know, the characters just kind of go off. There's one like faceless character that gets revealed, and that was cool. But yeah, we get a nice little spiel about Ladybug's view on luck and how it's changed, and I thought that was a really good part of the movie because he's
Good
like,
character development.
yeah, it was good character development because his whole thing is he thinks he's unlucky. Overall, good finale. I hated the unsatisfactory death, but besides that, it was just like a really good finale. So, 7 out of 10, which brought my total to a 79.
And which brings my total to an 82.
Pretty close.
Pretty close. We had a very similar thoughts on a lot of things.
I mean, I think the only things that stopped us from having like the same score was, like, I think you gave one more point to finale, originality, or sin or effects, and
Yeah.
you would have had an 80. I would have had a
Effects,
79,
finale,
and then like one lower point on something else, and we would have the same score, or one higher point for me. Well, yeah, that's our review
on Bullet Train.
Bullet Train.
Very solid movie.
Solid movie. I liked it more than I thought I would because I was scared it would be too bloody for me.
Let's just get it out of the way. It was better than Black Panther.
It was better than Black Panther. By a landslide of all 14 points. I would watch it over Black Panther like any day because I couldn't sit through Black Panther again though. It's too boring. Good movie, just way too boring.
Yep.
Alright, yeah. That's about it. I've been Peach Mango.
And I've been Seaman66.
And together, we're Peach Seaman!
You were Peach Mango.
You said you're Seaman!
I said just do Peach, not Peach Mango.
I said, and I'm Peach Seaman 66.
just do Peach. Because you're Peach and he's Crisp and together you're all Peach Crisp and just do Peach Seaman66.
That's what I was doing. Peach
But you
Seaman
said Peach Mango.
I did?
Yes.
Oh, let's try it again.
Do it again.
Alright, that's it. I've been Peach Mango.
No, not say Peach Mango.
No, in that part, I'm going to say Peach Mango. But when we combine them, it's just going to be Peach Seaman 66. Alright, that's it. I've been Peach Mango.
And I've been Seaman66.
And together, we're Peach Seaman 66.